Today's guest is Shria a social media influencer with over 280,000 followers. And through her social media account, she has not only built an audience but has also built a community of people where she influences over tens of thousands of people on a daily basis. And in today's conversation, we're not only going to talk about the numbers, but we're also going to delve into the psychology that goes behind influencing people, what it takes to become a content creator, and the ground reality of it. Well, Shreya, first of all, I would want to thank you. Thank you for joining us and taking the time out of your busy schedule to share your journey with us, to show the people what it takes to become a content creator and the real game behind it.
Thank you, Raghav. Thank you so much for having me today.
It's my pleasure. Okay, so one thing that I would want to understand from you, let's say if somebody tomorrow or today wants to get into the content creation game, what's one question they should ask themselves before getting into it?
Where I see content creation, it'll take so much time and like so much effort. I don't think it. People might think, okay, just posting stories or like posting videos or like just recording and just posting. But I think one question what you have to ask yourself is, can I handle uh, content with my other life? If you're doing like a 9 to 5 job, or if you are handling other things, well, I think it takes so much time and effort. So I think to be consistent as well, they need to question themselves, saying if they can be consistent and if they can give or provide what audiences are asking from them. So yeah, I think that is one thing which they need to work on.
And let's say, how much time do you think one needs to devote on a daily basis to?
It doesn't depend if one needs to give so much time. If you're posting consistently, that is well good, but there are few people who might have a hit overnight. Like people will like them just for one video. People might take time to like gain followers. So I think being I will not give you an exact time frame, but I think if you're posting every day, that is still fine. So that is one thing.
Consistency is
Yeah,
important.
consistency is the key.
And how many months or years do you think one needs to invest into content creation before having the opportunity of making any real money?
See, for example, I'll take my case. I started content creation in the month of April 2025. That is almost a
It's less than a
year,
year, yeah.
yeah, less than a year now. And I did start earning good money because of it, either from like a small barter basis, as I get good stuff from barter, or it can be like real big numbers. I think if you are good enough and if you are like well known for putting out your creativity out, if it's reaching audience, if you're good at storytelling, I think there's no time limit, or like there's no months or years for it to for you to earn money out of content.
So it's all about the story you tell and it's about how you put it out.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's great. And what's the worst business advice that you've ever received, which, let's say, everyone around you might think it's a good advice?
uh Not sure if
Honestly, if you don't have such thing, I think it's a great thing because it means that the people around you are giving you good advice.
I don't think I can think of good business advice.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's talk a little bit about your niche. What do you think is your niche right now?
Currently, I think since beginning, or since when I was a kid, I was always into fashion, lifestyle, or like dance or singing, something very, very creative and colorful. So I think still I would stick to the same niche, and I think future also I would stick to the same niche. It's fashion, lifestyle, and
Fashion,
yeah,
lifestyle.
lifestyle content.
And how did you end up picking up your niche?
I think I don't know. Probably since I was when I was in school, or like when I was a small kid. I think it all comes from my mom, where she used to like dress me up with like cute stuff. And like back then when I was a kid, I had small little boots, like a pink boots which I used to wear. So I think it all came because my mom used to dress me up so girly, and then I picked up that pace and like that creativity from her. So, back then in school, I used to just like drape my mom's sari. And then I think I am, even though I'm not like a fashion student or like a student who studied anything under creativity, I still love putting, clothes together, putting colors together. So yeah, I think that's how I picked up my niche.
And I'm definitely sure that the colors that you put up reflects in your personality as well.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's say if somebody was starting content creation tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
what advice or tips would you have for them
Mm-hmm.
to pick out their niche?
Be confident. Do not think that you are not worth it. Do not think you are inferior of anybody else. Do not compare yourself to others. Do not be like, oh, she's doing so good. Do you really think Oh, okay. Do not think okay, she's very good. Can I keep up with her? Creativity, or like never compare yours to others, because people would love you for what you are doing and people would love the other person for what they are doing. So maybe there are people who like you more than the other person. So never think that you are less than anybody else. And then yeah, be confident. And like, I think to start content, just be consistent and like, put your max creativity into it.
Max creativity, and along with max creativity, confidence, and not looking at yourself like someone
Correct, right,
beneath
yeah,
someone else.
exactly.
And as a beginner who's getting into content creation, should one focus on niching it out or exploring different fields?
Initially, until you get into the field of content, I think you can be very unnatural. You can explore different, segments or like different niche. Like it might be fitness, fashion, food, anything as such. But once you have picked your niche, it is well and good if you can sorry. Okay. Can
Specialize
we?
in? Yeah.
Yeah, specialize in one particular thing, because when people are talking about you, they will probably say that okay, she's good at this, maybe we can take inspo from her. So I think that is, you can narrow it down to your particular thing. But if you want to be like, you want to explore everything, then that's also good
So
to
it's
go.
okay to start wider and narrow it down.
Yeah.
And before you started the content creation game, did you have it narrowed down already, or did you have like
Mine
multiple
was
things?
always narrowed down. I never wanted to explore other things because I knew I was actually very good at what I'm doing right now. I just had to enhance it more and like, uh, I just had to make it more big and like put my more creativity into it. And like, I just had to do more of storytelling and reach good audience. But if I want to explore other things, I am still willing to do, but I just need to take my time.
You need to take your time.
Yeah.
And you just spoke about storytelling. How important do you think is storytelling in?
I think very important. Most of the brands which come to you asking for them to pitch their products do ask for storytelling. Because it needs to reach audience. Like if you are just holding a product and like just showing it to them, I don't think that would reach them enough. But if you're putting your uh, whatever you have, it's like your experience. If you're like showing your experience and like narrating a story, then I think it will reach a deeper audience.
And have you had to work overtime on your storytelling, or is it a skill that you've already always had?
To be very honest, I'm bad at narrating or storytelling. That is one thing which I'm still working on, and I have to learn every day. Because when you're narrating, I think few things will need a different kind of narration. Few needs they're very different from each other. So I think that is one thing which took a lot of time to work on, and I still have to.
And it's great that once you've reached the status that you have with over 280,000 followers, and you're still working on your storytelling. How or what steps are you taking to improve your storytelling?
Like I said, before I started my content, I used to never talk on my reels or like on my stories, because I always had the fear saying, okay, people would not like my voice or people would not like how I talk. But I just treated my profile as like a private account, and I just to dump random reels on my Instagram and just not open my phone for like 3 to 4 hours and be like, okay, let people judge. I'll just talk and just shut it down. And then, but I still do stand in front of the mirror, talk and like talk and talk and talk. I hide my phone somewhere and I still talk. So that is one thing which I do every day, and I like randomly start telling stories to myself, randomly note down things and like narrate the idea. So that is one thing I do. But apart from it, I think every different product needs, or every different topic needs a different storytelling. So yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And it's great that, it's surprising that there's so much work that goes behind content
Yes,
creation,
it does. There is a lot of work.
because it seems like it's an ever growing market,
Yes.
and you always have to keep updating yourself.
Correct. Yeah.
And so before you got into, being an influencer, what skills do you think have transferred from, like the Shreya 2 years ago who was not into content creation to the Shreya today?
Uh, I used to always, write down every creative idea. So anything that used to pop out in my head, I used to write it down, and I used to have that constant fear of what if my creativity wouldn't reach people. Like, so I just got this random idea. So when I put up back then, when I was not an influencer or like a person who used to do content, whenever I used to put a very nice outfit, which I think was nice, I used to be like, okay, there's no one to see my good outfit, there's nobody to see the skill and efforts to see what I've done. But there are celebrities out there, they are like, they click pictures, there's so much efforts of their outfit. So I always had that fear, and I always had that idea that whatever I'm doing should reach people, like like a designer or like a fashionista, anything. So I think that is one thing which made me pick. What's the question?
Yeah, no, the skills that have
Yeah,
transferred over the years.
correct.
Oh, that's great. And a lot of time people think to start content creation, they need fancy phones, they need fancy ring lights, they need expensive microphones. Do you think all of that is true to start content creation, or and what is required
I would
for
say
them to start?
70-30. I think phone needs to be, I would say phone needs to be good, but there are other people who are still doing, great with literally no equipment. But I do not have a proper mic till now, and my tripod is broken. But I still managed to do some content with literally, like the pop suction, the
Yeah, yeah,
normal sticky thing,
yeah.
which that, and wherever I think, yeah, I think equipment shouldn't be an obstacle for whatever you're doing.
Again, your creativity is coming out. You
Yeah,
mentioned the pop
thing, yeah, the sticky thing, correct, yeah.
And if you were to give like an estimate budget, how much do you think is required for somebody to start off?
A content?
Yeah, like for content creation,
I
basic
think zero.
equipments. Zero?
Zero.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Because I started off with literally nothing. Like, it was just me. Back then, I was doing a 9 to 5 job where I used to just record, everyday outfits, and I just posted, and that I think blew, it was just out there.
It was just out there.
Yeah, so my first reel would had over 19 million views.
19
Yeah.
million views.
And it
Wow.
was just like one normal, outfit check.
And so usually when people see 19 million views, I don't know, I have never been there. You've been there. So what's your mental process, and like what do you feel when you see you're getting 19 million views?
So when I posted my first reel, I had like 5,000 followers. So every 2 hours, I kept on checking, and the followers kept on growing. But I was very surprised. But at the same time, I was not like over surprised or like overconfident, saying, "Oh, okay, I did this," and but it made me really happy. But internally, I knew I could do this, because I'm a person who would visualize my life. Sorry. Uh, One second. Yeah. As a person, I would, I know I have planned out my life to be in a certain way, and I knew I could do this because I've always dreamt of being in this field and, like, doing much more bigger things. So, yeah. So, not really surprised, but yeah.
It's surprising that you've mentioned visualization, and how important do you think that's been a part of your growth and journey?
Mm, well, I can say, okay, well, I can say, as a person, I can just imagine and, like, dream of what I can do. I cannot be like, okay, my life needs to go a certain way. To a certain extent, I can still do it, saying, okay, at so and so age, I need to do so and so things, but I cannot, like, really put it out there saying, okay, this has to happen. But since I've forecasted few things, uh, I just keep manifesting things which needs to happen, and that has turned out very good to me. So I think visualizing things has worked a little for me, but not completely. So I think that is really great. That is something like self confidence in you. So if you believe in yourself, I think it would turn out very good for you.
Believing in yourself seems
Yeah.
to be important.
Yeah.
And is it possible for you to walk us through the process that you go through in creating a content? Could you just walk us through that process?
Yeah, so I think after 100K, I tied up with an agency. So how this agency work is a brand pitch. They pitch you a brand, and if they want to sell a product, they will give you a brief, like a concept. It'll just be like a paragraph or like a sentence, and you have to work on the script. So I will do the script. So my entire creativity is on the script. So I generate AI images. Like, me personally, this is my way of scripting anything, because I just want to show the brand saying this will be in your hands, so they can trust me and come back again to me. So I just give them pictures of what I'm going to create, which will be as a running video. So my script goes into it, and then it'll be little tweaks, and like what will be my text and what will be my stickers or like supers on it and captions, and then I will start shooting it.
Okay, wow, that's great. And what about your journey before 100K? What was your process for creating content then?
Before then, it was, I think most of it used to be like homegrown brands. It used to be small brands and like not bigger brands. I think because before 100K, I never had an idea that I could monetize my followers, because I was very new to this field. I never knew, okay, content would give me so much money. I think I started knowing about it once I, tied up with an agency, and once I started few other friends who used to monetize their content. So what I did is, I used to get so many things on barter. I started converting that barter into like small amounts. Like, before I tied up with any other agency, I used to cold email, cold DM few brands. So they have actually reciprocated with their, PR agency emails, where I've actually worked with them. It might be a very small amount, but I do have cracked that brand.
Yeah, but it also seems like that small step that you take has helped you a lot in building that
Yes,
confidence
yes,
over
yeah,
time.
right.
That's beautiful. And what do you think is more important, the research that goes behind making the video or the video itself?
Definitely the research and, like the entire process behind the video, because only if you put it all together, there is your results. But even if one single key element is missing in your research, I don't think that would, your outcome is not the same. Like, even 1 second down in the video, then I think the whole video is like not up to the mark, is what I feel. So do your research, do your scripting, work on your storytelling, work on how this has to reach people. So I think that is one major thing. So I think research, back end, whatever goes on, is very important.
And how do you do your research?
So it depends what the brand requires. Some people just need it to be promoted. Some people want a deeper storytelling. So my creativity just pops in once if the brand, what is there. So every product or everything has many ways to describe, right? So I pick a very unique style to describe anything, and like I do take a little help of technology, run it through, uh, Google, and like, few things to get out my script, and that is when I get my scripts.
And let's say if somebody is starting tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
what should they focus more on? Should it be on reels? Should it be on posts? Or should it be on stories?
I think definitely Reels, because Reels is, I think, it's consumed majorly on Instagram right now, because every other kid is on Instagram with
Yeah.
Reels. But I would say kind of explore YouTube, because that is one medium which I've not explored yet. I personally would love to know how to do more of YouTube videos. So I think if you are working, you can be more consistent and simultaneously work on both YouTube and Reels. And stories are majorly for your audience who are following you
Yeah.
and who are like your family, where you can be interactive with them. And posts, yeah, it do reaches to few people. It's like taking inspiration from what you're posting.
And what's your formula for, let's say, posting number of reels, posts versus stories?
Definitely Reels. I think Reels are 90% for me.
Reels are
It's, yeah,
90%.
yeah. So I would almost post minimum of 5 to 6 reels per day. One reel will be on my main page, and the other 4 5 reels will be in my trial reels, because now that Instagram has come up with option saying you can put your trial. So I just put all my dump or like any other reels which wants to reach good greater audience. So I put it into it. So over the time, I just release it into my main page.
And how does the trial reels work?
So the trial reels is only for the non-followers. So whatever you're putting on the main page, it pops up if you are following me. But the
Okay.
trial reels, it shows the algorithm. It shows the non-followers first. So you have a good reach. So the non-followers and the viewers will be converted into your follower.
Oh wow, that
Yeah,
seems like a good move from
yeah,
Instagram.
yeah. That is.
Wow, and it's great how you're using it
Yeah.
also. And could you walk us through a little bit behind the strategy that is used behind hashtags, engagements, and trends?
To be very honest, I still don't understand the myth behind hashtags, because I have used the most funniest hashtags, but I don't think nothing has worked out
But do
for
you think,
me.
according to you, it works?
I believe,
You believe it
yeah,
works?
it works, because if I just there's one reel which I just wanted for it to go viral,
Yeah.
and I just put hashtag viral, and it actually blew up. I still don't believe if it's, it's, I don't know, it's God's grace. It's like that, but
God's grace and your hard work.
it's like these SEO, like if you put a certain word, and if you like, it's just like a search engine optimization, like how you put a word and then it just pops up. So maybe somebody is like typing or like searching some inspo, and probably if you had put a hashtag or like, caption, your reel might end up showing in the results. So I think that is one of my belief.
That's one of your belief. And what about trends?
uh I don't think I do believe in that.
You don't believe in that. Do you follow the trend, or have you ever followed that trend?
No, I do not.
Oh, that's fine. Has there ever been any brand that you have worked with that you would have wanted the brand to communicate something earlier?
Yeah, I think exactly like I said, they should have conveyed saying that they want the video so and so. But if I had to ask the brand, I think I would ask the same question, saying, how do you want your outcome to look like? Is there a certain script you would like to give, or do you want me to make my own script? Because right after the shoot, they would be like, okay, we didn't wanted you to shoot this in this way. We wanted you to have like certain criterias. So I think be well aware of your results before.
So even if the brand is not asking the influencer questions, it's important for the influencer to be thorough with the brand, to have expected, to have a set expectation, and to seem like a professional.
Correct.
That's great. And what's one thing that you did in year one? It's still the second year. So what's one thing that you did in year one that had zero immediate payoff but compounded astronomically?
Uh, I would say being consistent again, because first 6 months I was I was like very consistently posting, and I still had zero brand deals. But then later, I think I started making a good, remarkable change in every brand's list, saying, okay, she's very consistent about her, posting her schedules, everything. So I think that is one thing which is, changed for me.
Consistency
Yeah,
is
consistency.
important. And when you started off, when you say consistency, how consistent were you? Let's say, how many posts would you post in a week or a day?
I think I used to post every day. Initially, every day used to have 2 to 3 reels. When I was not aware of Instagram analytics, and I was very new to content creation. So I think initially I used to post 2 to 3 reels and like 2 posts a day and like multiple stories on my feed, and then initially first 3 months or like first 6 months I used to never speak up on the reels, but then later when I started talking, I think that is what changed for
And
me
what's
as
the
well.
reason that, speaking on the reel does to, let's say, the audience?
It's just like you know a person better when you meet them in person,
Yeah.
so you're just virtually communicating with your audience.
Virtually communicating. And talking about virtually communicating, how do you manage your relationship, let's say, with the audience? Because most of the time it's usually one-sided, right?
Correct.
So how do you manage that?
To be very honest, I read all of my DMs. I read
So it's not one-sided.
No, it is never one-sided. I think everybody thinks that I don't read my comments or like I don't read my messages. Till today, till now, till the last minute, I've always read my messages. I do have screenshots of very cute messages they've sent me. I do have, messages which has hurt me a lot, which I just keep it as a reminder saying that I need to work a little harder to change their mind. It's not like I want to change their mind, it's just for myself. It's just for my
It's a
things.
great way to look at it.
Yeah.
You turn the hate comment
Into in a
constructive feedback. And
right.
you look at it in a positive way. You're just thinking, okay, how can I
Correct,
improve?
right.
That's really nice.
So I think that is one thing. So it's never one-sided, and I do put up polls and questions to people, so they just randomly throw some questions and I do reply back to it. So I think it's never one-sided. I don't even want to keep my audience or like my people to be it okay. I don't want them to feel like, okay, she's just using us for like money or like likes and comments. I just want them to feel that they are also a part of my journey.
Yeah, so it's a community that you've created. It's
Right.
not just an audience that you've
Correct.
built. And let's say when you started making money, what's the dumbest financial mistake that you made when you started making real money?
I've overspent it.
Overspent it?
Yeah, I have overspent more than my actual budget. But one suggestion I would give all of you is like save up, because you don't know when and where another brand is coming up for you to travel or for you to spend a lot on your process. So save up.
This is something that I've heard a lot. They say the content creator doesn't have an idea where the next month's revenue is going to come from.
Correct, right.
Do you think that's the reason they have to
save up, right? Because in the month of January I had 0 deals, but in the month of Feb I have so many lined up that all the earnings I did from the previous month, I need to spend that on my traveling or my cinematography or whatever.
And
that is.
the inconsistency or the uncertainty of having regular work, how do you deal with that?
Repeat the question.
So, like you said, in the month of December you had 0 brand deals, and in Feb you have a lot of them lined up. So the uncertainty that you had in December, how do you deal with that uncertainty?
I think in December I had 1 deal. In Jan I had 0, and in Feb it's still going on. Again, I don't think as of now I need to worry, because I have my agency to take that into their consideration. But there are other small barter reels which I'm taking up. Like there are makeup brands which come up saying you need to just shop for 25,000, which is a good deal for me. I would want to shop for 25,000. There is in one campaign for a sports brand where they offered me to pick whatever for like good number of money. So I just pick whatever I want for my house. So that's still fine.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So the barter deals always come.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Okay, so how many drafts do you have on your phone that are drafts?
That's a great question. I think every video you shoot is a draft for me. I would just randomly on the days where I have not shot actual content, I just put the draft on the trial reel. So it just blows or just doesn't. At least I'm just being active.
And let's say if you're working with a brand and you have to make one post, how many drafts of that one video would
Oh
you
my
have?
God, a lot, because there's a lot of retakes, a lot of reshoots, a lot of there are idea which changes on spot. There are things which changes right there. So there's like a hell number of drafts when you're shooting a
And
reel.
let's say, has there ever been a time with you when you, let's say you're shooting a video for a brand and you're just not able to get it right? How do you deal with that frustration or that annoyingness?
First of all, I think if it doesn't come out the way I expect, not even leave the brand. If it doesn't even go close to what I have thought about, I just reshoot it, because if I am not satisfied, I feel the other person who's even looking into it is. I feel I assume that saying okay, it doesn't look good to them as well. So just take a little time to freshen up, prep up, and change, do a little tweaks here and there in the script, and then I just reshoot it.
So it's okay to reset. It's
Yeah,
okay
it's
to
okay.
take your time.
It's okay to take my time and take your time and reshoot it again, because you're with fresh ideas, fresh mind.
And
So, yeah.
what's more important for you? You know, the time spent or the quality of the video?
I think both. It's a ratio of 50 and 50. Time spent on your research, time spent on shooting is much important, because some videos need great lighting, some videos need great background, and the and the output also should be great, because if you've shot well and good, and if the output is blurry, and if your output is not that great as you expected, then I don't think
It's not worth.
it's not worth it.
And talking about posts, one of your content that went viral was the one with 19 million
Correct,
views.
right.
Is it possible for you to walk us through the process, let's say from the ideation part to the execution?
Raghav, to be very honest, that had no scripts. That had zero script, zero brain function, zero anything. Take it any this thing. It is just zero, because I just stood in front of the camera. I just wanted to check if my outfit looked fine.
And what do you think worked well in that video that pushed it up to 19
I
million?
think so. What attracted more to people was I was wearing bangles, and there is a small, slight sound of this bangles which might have attracted audience, is what I feel, because it's a little nice, and the way I've dressed up would have attracted audience, is what I feel.
Is what you feel.
Yeah.
And talking about content shooting, how do you batch your content? Like, do you shoot on a daily basis? Is it weekly or is it like a monthly, once in a month?
It's a random day. If you just call me and ask me what am I doing, I'll just say I'm sleeping, and the next minute I'll be shooting content. It's my mind is just so random.
And do you think that's a formula that's worked well for you?
Yeah, that has always worked well for me. And not every day it's the same. Some days I'm like all freshened up and like I'm so active, but I'm like very lazy to shoot. I have to make up my mind so much to saying I have to shoot, but then it's always the day is just over. But there are days where I'm like very dull and not up to the mark, but I am very enthusiastic to like shoot. And there are days I've made up to it.
Okay, that's great. And do you have a team that helps you, ideate a shoot to execute a shoot?
I wouldn't say team, I would say friends. I think any shoot, any piece of content is shot by my best friend. There are few which have done bigger numbers. I think they are shot by a good professional people who are still who works with my family and all of that.
Who work with your family? And is there something that you would only outsource versus something that you would only do it by yourself?
Something, if I'm capable saying okay I can do it myself, I think I would. But if I think or like if I want other people's help, then I am open to asking.
You're open to asking for help. And let's talk a little bit about algorithm. What's one of the biggest misconception people have about Instagram's algorithm? Or let's say, what's one of the biggest misconception you had initially when you started?
Exactly. Like I said, hashtags. And like posting as per the Instagram insight saying Thursday 6 p.m. works well, but there is a Tuesday 2 p.m. which is also worked well for me.
Yeah.
So I think do not always trust your analytics. Post whenever you want to.
The
Yeah.
key over here again is consistency.
Consistency. Yeah.
All right. And accounts that blow up overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they have something in common, or is it just random?
I think I am the one which the accounts which just blew up so randomly. I don't know. I don't think I am the person who needs to answer this question.
Okay, that's fine. Any content strategy that you implemented for, let's say, a couple of months that didn't work out, that turned out to be like a failure?
Uh, I wouldn't. I've never always, ran around like one single strategy. I've always been exploring different things because I wanted to reach a greater audience. Initially, I used to never speak on reels, and I initially used to just use music and all of that. But I think now, since I started speaking more, people have loved me for what I'm doing. So I think that is the one.
That's one.
Yeah.
And has there ever been any brand partnership that hasn't worked out for you?
I think one.
You don't have to reveal the brand. It's
Yeah.
completely okay.
I think one brand which I actually shot, good pay. I did. We had put in so much efforts. My friend was involved. All the technicians were involved, but since they had so much to change, I think I just turned it down.
Okay, so much to change, as in?
I shot the video in a portrait mode. They
All right.
wanted it to be in a horizontal, but initially they didn't mention anything. Saying you have to shoot it so and so. But I wanted to make it look like an ad because it was such a good reputed brand. So I was like, so much reshoot and so much tweaks in it. I'm not going to do
A
it.
lot of tweaks and a lot of reshoot just wasn't worth your
Yeah,
time.
not working. Yeah.
For you, your mental peace is more important than the
Important.
money you make.
Right.
And are there any red flags other than that you ignored?
No.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. What do your followers think they want versus what actually makes them engage?
I think I feel people have always loved the stories I put up because most of my audience are always reacting to the stories I put than the reels I post because reels are they comment, which is good. But when I'm putting up a story, I either keep them engaged, saying I put up a poll saying, okay, yes or no, this or that, or like I put a question box for them to shoot me some questions. So I think stories have worked well for me.
Stories have worked well for you, and it also seems like you're very close to your audience.
Yes.
I wouldn't call them audience, your community.
Yeah.
Is there any psychological difference that you notice between a follower who just scrolls versus somebody who actually buys?
Yeah, because as an influencer, there are certain set of people who would see, like, it's just like your celebrity. You will see your celebrity, okay, the person I like has got something, so I want to buy something. So they're constantly taking inspiration from you. They constantly want to know if whatever the brand you're pitching or whatever the brand you're promoting, is it good? Is it well? If I can buy. They want to know if the feedback or the promotion is genuine. So I think that is one. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think is your demographic of your community?
Like
male versus female ratio?
My female audience is a little lesser comparatively than the other opposite gender, but now since I'm doing much of female centric content, I think I do have such a great female audience or like a community where there are there are few people who like came up to me saying I'm a biggest, you give us the biggest inspiration, you're on my vision board, which is very happy. So I think 2% or like even 1% of my female audience likes my post, I'm happy.
That's very
Yeah.
cute. And apart from that previous brand deal that you mentioned that didn't work out well, has there ever been any other brand deal that you just walked away from?
No, not really.
Not really. So usually the brand deals that come to you are just worth taking up.
So there are brand deals which my agency pitches. Either they are like they're like a salon visit where you have to bleach your hair. So I wouldn't want to do that. Or it's for a dating app like a Bumble X certain brand or like Happen X certain brand. So I don't want to take up any dating apps.
Any dating apps that goes against your values.
Yeah.
All right. Is there any content trend that you see your competitors or other people following that you wouldn't take up?
No, not really.
Not really. And one strategy that's worked incredibly well for you that you wouldn't publicly share?
I think I not really, but everybody knows. I think speaking on your reels and being funny and unnatural.
Being funny and unnatural.
Yeah, I think, and then posting your bloopers of your life, probably.
Bloopers of your life.
Yeah, and yeah, I think being very unnatural and like very goofy would.
Being authentic,
Yeah,
being true to yourself.
True to yeah.
That's beautiful. At what point did you realize or did you feel the need to hire like a professional? And and when was it just worth the investment?
When the brand started paying me more. Yeah.
So the minute your income started growing, you realized, okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And at what point does hiring someone make you more money than doing it yourself?
I think it depends on what your brand asks. Again, if they wanted, they do mention that they need like a professionally shot, content. But there are other, if they just want a review of a product or just a review of what they want, I do it myself. But if they just want like a very professionally shot, then I do want to hire people.
Okay, and is there anything unsustainable about the content creation lifestyle that people miss out on?
I don't think.
No?
Nothing.
It just seems like you just enjoy the journey
Yeah.
thoroughly. What boundaries did you set that you'd wish you'd set earlier? Let's say when you're working with either a brand or with yourself when you're choosing what to post.
I wish I had the chance to, put my creativity and didn't want the brand to involve because I love my outcome. But but there are few brands where they ask to put text and make it look very capturing and all of that. Apart from that, what's the question?
Yeah, exactly this. Any boundaries that you set?
Apart from that, apart from the boundaries brand setup, I think content creation journey, not everything is private in your life.
Not everything is private in
Yeah.
your life.
So you're publicly set out your entire life. Everybody knows what you're doing. Everybody knows where you are.
And you're okay with that?
There are certain things which I have private, which I don't want to let it out. But there are things which I've listed out saying, okay, this can be public and it's fine for me.
And a little bit I would want to understand from you is about the friendships that come into the picture of becoming an influencer. Are there any friendships that you lost or something that you would want in an ideal friend?
I've not lost friendships, but I've gained few people.
You've gained few people.
Yeah, and I've gotten to know who is your friend.
Who is your friend?
Who are your friends?
And how do you differentiate between, let's say you make a friend today.
Okay.
How do you differentiate that, the person is genuinely a friend to you versus, they're just in it because you have like a huge base?
See, I would never consider a person as my friend until unless I don't know that person for too long, until unless I'm not involved with him, in him or her, like genuinely. If I don't know that person, then I don't think he's my friend. But if I genuinely know what he or she is like, or like involved in, if I'm traveling with them, or if I'm spending almost every day in my life with them, then they are
Mentioned a little bit about YouTube and how you haven't capitalized on it.
correct,
yet.
right?
What do you think is the reason?
I have always much focused, been focused on Instagram, and I have this one bad assumption saying, okay, only Instagram can get me revenue, because I don't have people who have told me that YouTube has also gotten me money. So I want to talk to people who have actually made revenue out of YouTube so I can start something big.
You can start something big. And the community that you've built over, let's say, the past 1 year, uh, what do you believe about building a community that people usually miss out on, or people would usually disagree with?
Uh, I think talking to your audience is so much important. Like, being even though they're putting out their opinions, and you are seeing and like hearing out their opinions and suggestions and not reciprocating, I think that is bad.
That is
If,
bad.
yeah, you need to take their inputs, inculcate it in your job, and then if you let it out, I think people, it might they might have a word to word with others, and that, probably you might grow.
Probably you might grow.
Yeah.
And along with that, do you think that there is something that you're not doing right now, which you might regret in, let's say, 5 years from now?
uh, I would say uh, uh, post more consistently, because I've been very lazy this year. Uh, I sometimes I plan out so much that I don't end up shooting all of them, because all my creativity has been jot down, all my ideas have been written down, how I want to shoot it, but I'm not putting that into picture.
Is it like a book that you maintain about your ideas?
Yes.
Wow, that's I haven't heard of that before. So it's a
I
new
write
learning for
every
me.
content, and there is like a content calendar for every month. So every month I want certain number of reels which has to come out.
Oh, and talking about content calendar, could you just walk us a little bit through that, the entire framework?
So
Let's say there are 7 days in a week, and how would you plan each
so
day?
content create a calendar started very recently. I
Yeah.
think from past 1 month, which I'm doing. So January, I just wanted to do an IP of series of series, which is on my Instagram. I wanted to have like something around 3 to 4 series of series, but more came out. There are more number of IPs, series which are there, episodes there. But apart from that, just pitch down every creative ideas you're there, and make a reel out of every idea. So that is how you make your content calendar. Like, imagine you have a topic, you have an idea, make 2 to 3 different reels out of it, and that's your 7-day job is done, and
Converting
distribute,
every
yeah,
idea into
into a
something
reel.
tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last question before we close this. Let's say 5 years from now, what needs to be true for you to feel like all your time, all your effort, all your money was, worth the investment?
If I've reached my goals, if people know me for what I'm doing right now, if people know Shreya, then I think it's worth it.
You think it's worth it?
Yeah.
And is there anything else that you would like to add on before we close this?
Uh, no.
No? That's it. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Raghav. Thank you so much for having me.